Hello students, this is Effective Technical Communication class and we are studying verbal and non-verbal communication. We have till now studied kinesics, that is the study of body language. Today we will study yet other three features of non-verbal communication. First aspect of non-verbal communication is the paralinguistic features. Now what is the meaning of paralinguistic features? It is that we add to our voices or our sound. So anything that we add to our voices or sound to make it more meaningful or more impactful is called paralinguistic feature. The first and foremost paralinguistic feature is the volume. Now if our volume is too high, our listener will get irritated. And if our volume is too low, the listener will not be able to understand. Secondly, a low volume shows low confidence and low self-esteem. So we must use a volume that is moderate. Particularly when you are addressing a large number of people, you have to take care that your volume is neither too loud nor too low. You should be audible to each and every person in the audience. The second paralinguistic feature is the tone. Use of correct tone will create an impact on the audience. If you are using a tone of anger but you are expressing some other emotion, then the listener will be confused or the chances of misunderstanding will be low. So we must use a correct tone because tone helps us add the emotions on what we are saying. We can have tone of anger, tone of sadness, tone of enthusiasm, happiness and a tone of conviction. So in our professional life, when we are communicating with our bosses, our colleagues, our clients, anyone, for that matter, we should have a tone of confidence. The next paralinguistic feature is the pitch. Now pitch can be either high pitch or a low pitch. You must have heard that in singing there are different pitches and people sing at a high pitch and a low pitch. Even in speech we can use different pitches. Now very good orators or very good speakers, they will change their pitches so that the attention of the audience is suddenly attracted to them and people will start listening more attentively. So when you want that your audience becomes more attentive to you, you should change your pitch. Suddenly when you change your pitch from low to high, then the listeners will be attentive. So whenever you have to make a point, you can change your pitch. The next important aspect of paralinguistic feature is pauses. Now giving correct pauses is very important. In reading, we can see the comma and full stops. But in speaking, we have to give correct pauses for the punctuation. Not only that, by using long pauses, you can also create more impact on the audience. So again, whenever you have to make a point or you want the audience to give a thought on what you say, then you should give a longer pause. This will make the audience think upon what you have already said. So pauses will also help you in creating an impact on the listeners. The next important aspect is the speed or the pace. Now we should neither speak at a very high speed or a very low speed. If we speak very fast, the listener will be baffled and confused because they may leave out very important information. At the same time, you should not be very slow in speaking because that will be very boring, as slow speech will create a gap in the mind of the listener and their minds will start wandering. So speak at a moderate rate or pace. Next important paralinguistic feature is the intonation. Intonation means giving expression to your words and sentences at different point of time. When you give intonation or you change your tones, it will give an expression to your words. So not speaking plainly but giving intonation will help create impact. on the audience. Also, articulation is a very important thing. When we speak or when we communicate, we should be clearly able to articulate our thoughts. Clear articulation never leaves any confusion in the mind of the listeners. Next, very important, and in fact, we can say this is the most important paralinguistic feature, is pronunciations. Correct pronunciations of words are important so that we can clearly express our thoughts. Because if our pronunciations are not correct, then the listener will be confused. So to use correct pronunciation, you should have a correct knowledge of phonetics. So for the knowledge of the phonetics, you can go to the internet and find out the correct pronunciation of the word. And then you use your words in the speeches. This is how you can make your speech clear. The next non-verbal component is the proxemics. Now what is proxemics? Proxemics comes from the word proximity, which means the nearness to other person. So proxemics deals with the distance between people or the physical distance between people. Now proxemics says that as the distance between two people increases, the influence of them on each other will reduce. So let us examine 4 different proxemic zones which will help us understand about this concept of proxemics. So the first zone is intimate zone. Now intimate zone includes all those people who are very close to us, like our family members and very close friends, who may even touch us, who may put their hands on our shoulders, and because of the very less distance between them, our influence on each other is more. For example, your parents and your closest friends will have highest influence on you. So it is easier to communicate within the intimate zone. The second zone is the personal zone. The personal zone includes everyone that we meet in our daily lives, like our teachers, our other classmates who may not be our friends, our colleagues, and many other people in our surrounding, maybe our neighbors also. So all of them come in a personal zone. Now the physical distance with them is a little larger than the intimate zone because we don't stay with them for 24 hours. So the influence of them is high on us but less as compared to the intimate zone. The third zone is the social zone, where people who are our relatives but they are not very close relatives and whom we may meet very rarely during the year, they all are included in the social zone. Or some people to whom we may just meet because of our work purpose or not very frequently. So the influence of these people is lower than the personal zone. And the last zone is the public zone. Public zone includes all those who are strangers whom we may not know at all. So their influence on us is the least. Now how can we use this knowledge of proxemics in our communication? We must understand that if the distance is lesser, the influence or the impact is more. So we should always try to have a face-to-face communication with people if we want to create an impact on them. Secondly, when you are doing a presentation or a meeting, you should move around the space so that at different point of time you are closer to different people. This way you can create an impact on the huge crowd. So this is proxemics. Now the third is the chronemics. Chronemics is the study of time. Now how timing is important in communication? Timing is important in communication because when we communicate the right thing at the right time, then only it will have an impact. If the timing is wrong, then whatever you are communicating will not have the effect that you wanted. So timing is important. Secondly, if you are making a presentation or in an interview, then you must give time to a particular topic according to its importance, not according to how much you want to speak. So if it is very important, give more time and clarify more. But if it is of less importance, then you should have enough wisdom to just close the topic with a very less time. So this is how, if you are able to use time with wisdom while communicating, then you will not even sound boring. At the same time, you will also be able to clarify all your points. So if we use all these non-verbal aspects like kinesics, paralinguistic features, proxemics and chronemics, then we can make our communication effective. Thank you.